for about 30 years. And there's a great quote: "Things may come to those who wait, but only those things left behind by those who hustle." Now, do you know who said that quote? It was Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln gave some of the best business advice I've ever heard. Business is about hustling. It's about going the extra mile. It's about going the distance. And people forget, just to stop there for a second, successful businesses are businesses that meet the needs of their customers. And often that involves having to go the extra distance, right? You go to a great restaurant because the food's really good. Somebody makes sure that that kitchen is well run. They care about what the customer experience is. And that's so key to business, and it's often forgotten in popular literature about capitalism. Businesses that meet the needs of customers or businesses that thrive. Businesses that don't exist.
I want to talk about your passions here in Miami and education and all that you're doing, but that gives me a little entree into breaking news. Last night, Zohran Mamdani wins the mayor in New York City. There are some people looking at that saying, you know, it's a different environment for businesses, and is it going to lead to an exodus? Will there be a ton of businesses and people who come to a place like this in Miami as a result of that? Knowing what you know, and you've obviously moved to Miami from Chicago, what do you think of last night's result there?
Well, I mean, for the people of New York, I pray that the policies that Mamdani uses to govern and lead New York are different than the talking points he used to win the mayoral race. The people of New York deserve better.
And do you think it maybe leads to an exodus down here?
Right, and so if I look at Miami, and I look at why Miami is so successful, the focus on education, the focus on public safety. These are safe streets. We live in a safe city. The focus on community. This is a city that has great pride in what we've accomplished together and what we will accomplish ahead. I've lived in a failed city-state. I lived in Chicago for 30-some years. I had 2 colleagues who had bullets fly through their cars. I had a colleague stabbed outside the front door of our office. I had 25 bullet holes in the front of my building where I lived. You can't live in a city awash in violent crime and feel proud to call that place home. So I'm grateful for the leadership in the state of Florida. This is a great place to call home. And I hope and I really hope that when Mamdani thinks about leadership, he thinks about the right role models. And there's a lot to copy from our great state of Florida and from this great city of Miami.
So 2022, you move your family down here. Any, like, welcome to Miami culture shocks for you?
Do you know how great it is to go to dinner and people talk about their children and they talk about their future and they do so with excitement and enthusiasm? We lost that in Chicago in the last 10 years. Dinner in Chicago would be about crime, about cronyism, about failed policies in the state. It is so refreshing to be in a city where people talk about tomorrow. And I think that's a really important topic here in a roundtable on business. Entrepreneurs are people that believe in tomorrow. It's really tough to start a business. Like, don't kid yourself. You don't own your business owns you. So you have to have a great deal of optimism about the future of where you live, the community you're part of, the country you're part of, to start a business. And it is so great to see the optimism that we have here in Miami. It's really special.
It is. You know, since arriving in Miami, you've invested really heavily in this state. From education to healthcare, soccer fields, Miami. Underline, your most recent gift was support of the expansion of the Success Academy Charter Network to Miami. So when you talk about education, why is education particularly important to you, and what brought you to Success Academy and bringing it here?
So let's be clear. Education is the on-ramp to the American dream. Every student in our country who has a world-class education has an extraordinarily high chance of living the life that we all dream to live. And our country lets down every student who doesn't have a great education. Because in this world where skills are so important, that on-ramp to the American dream, that road's just closed. And I've lived in a city, you know, Illinois has 50-some schools 2 years ago where not a single child performed at grade level. The American dream is closed to those children. It's a disgrace. Success Academy proves that every child can get on that on-ramp. In the city of New York, where they admit children from the inner city, 100% of their graduates go on to a college education. When you walk in their classrooms and you see the enthusiasm of the teachers, the engagement of the kids, it is so uplifting. Like, you see the future of our country, and you see it in a population that too many politicians say can't learn and can't be educated, and they make up a litany of excuses. And Eva Moskowitz proves that they're just excuses, that every child in this country deserves and has the opportunity to live the American dream.
And for all the folks who say maybe the American dream is fading away, maybe it's not what it was. First of all, you didn't land on third base with you growing up and your family history.
I mean, my father grew up one of five, both parents working to make ends meet. They certainly didn't grow up on third base. And he worked so hard to make sure that my siblings and I really did have that chance to live the American dream. In fact, what's interesting is he actually started his career when America dreamed big. He worked for General Electric on the NASA space program that put man on the moon. And I'm really grateful to have grown up in a family where there was such an emphasis on education and, frankly, such a belief in what you can do in this country, because he was part of the team that really did change history when Neil Armstrong took the first step on the moon.
You've said that you can imagine doing what you're doing for some time. But when you look at all that you're doing, the philanthropy, the business, as you look to your legacy for the next generation, what do you see?
There are many things that I believe before each of our legacies in life. I think one that strikes close to home is the children that we raise. And I really do hope that my children have the values to be contributing citizens to our country. Like, that's really important to me. That's like foremost on my list. Beyond that, I'm actually incredibly grateful for all my partners who invested so much in the colleagues who've worked at Citadel. Not only is Citadel incredibly successful, but people who've left Citadel have gone on to accomplish great things. And I think really run firms drop the acorns of success on the ground that go into the trees that create other success stories across our country. And we've put a lot of seeds in the ground. I'm really proud of what my colleagues both at Citadel and my alumni have done over the years. And then I do believe we played a pivotal role in transforming markets. We played a really important role in the democratization of finance. When I was in college in the good old days to stock, you'd pay a commission of $40. You'd pay a bid-ask spread of 25 cents, and you'd wait 5 minutes to get your trade done. Today in America, as a retail investor, trade for no commission, pay a spread of about a penny, and your trade is done in about 1/10 of a cent. Why do I care about this? Because roughly half of all American households own equity in America. They own stocks. They're partaking in the American dream as co-owners of our country. And we want to expand that ethos of all of us being invested in America. It helps all of us to save for our retirement, to create more jobs and more prosperity, and to understand and appreciate the importance of good laws and good policy.
You know, we said you just got off the plane from Hong Kong and you were speaking over there. As you're in Asia and you think about the economy and how it feels, what do you come away with?
So when I travel the world, in every country there is a profound respect for the entrepreneurialism of our country. In fact, that's been a really incredible source of talent for the United States. Around the world, people dream of coming here to start businesses and to build their dreams. You see it in the Fortune 500. Roughly 50% of all the Fortune 500 companies are run by immigrants or the children of immigrants. The majority of American AI startups were started by immigrants.
There you go. There is a disconnect today between the success on Wall Street and big companies really doing well and how people feel at home. And it's, you know, whether you use the word affordability, whether you talk about inflation, whether you talk, however it is, there is this dichotomy between the two. As you look at that, is that a major problem and that we need to fix as a country?
So first of all, I absolutely agree with you. I agree with you. And this is why good policy is so important, is the fruits of our economy need to be spread broadly across our people. And that's where really important and thoughtful economic policies come into play. In Washington, how do we lift all boats? That's a really key question. And we need to take a step back and say, what are the right incentives, the right changes that we need to make in society so that everyone partakes in the prosperity and wealth of our country?
So to that point, what are the key drivers in this economy, the U.S. economy, over the next 12 months?
Key drivers of the next 12 months?
Because it's pretty volatile now.
Look, one of the biggest changes that we're grappling with as a country is the change in immigration policy. We've gone from a country that was creating roughly 250,000 jobs a month to about 30,000 to 40,000 jobs a month as we've radically shrunk the labor force. And that has profound implications, in particular for startups. Startups really need access to talented people for their founders to grow and thrive. And we've changed the dynamics of the labor pool. What really concerns me are those who've chosen not to come to our country, who bring the skills, the talents, and the ambition that help to create the American success stories. If I look at Citadel, my most senior partner was born in Ecuador. My other most senior partner was born in Australia, and one was born in Taiwan, if you sort of understand the picture. I am so grateful for all the incredibly talented people who've come to our country to call this country home. And I really do hope that we take a step back from where we are right here, right now. And let's be clear, there's a lot of anger and frustration about the chaos on our southern border that played out under the Biden administration. The unfettered immigration of millions of people, we didn't know their backgrounds, we didn't know why they were coming here. President Trump did something really great for our country in securing our border. But we need to make it clear, if you're coming to America to live the American dream and to help build this country, there's a path to citizenship. Every student from abroad who graduates from an American college should have a green card stapled to their diploma.
There you go. Could be a policy in the making. Last thing, Ken, a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small businesses, a lot of folks who want to succeed. If you had one piece of advice as you're leaving this group, what is it?
One piece of advice. I'll go back to that opening statement. Having really good partners around you is really critical to your success. And finding somebody who complements your skills is an extraordinary asset. You know, when I think about the start of Citadel, I really surrounded myself with people who were different than I were. And that made for such a strong firm. It's so important to have complementary skills around you. And then it's really important to be thoughtful about where you're heading and to stay focused on what you need to do to accomplish that task. It's very easy to get caught up in the day-to-day, but it's very important to always take the time out to think and give consideration as to where you want to go, and then make that happen.
Ken Griffin, thank you so much for the time.
Great to see you.
PIF is one of the world's largest and fastest growing sovereign wealth funds. The United States is PIF's most important market outside of Saudi Arabia. Since 2017, PIF has directed $170 billion into the U.S. economy, fueling growth, creating opportunities, jobs, and contributing $33 billion to U.S. GDP. Together with our U.S. partners, U.S. businesses, and top global asset managers, we're advancing innovation across mobility, aviation, renewables, sport, technology, finance, and more. Strengthening markets and creating long-term value across both nations. PIF's deep U.S. commitment spans across sectors, from $23.8 billion U.S. equities and our New York office to Live Golf, CONCACAF, FIFA Club World Cup, Surge Stake and PFL, and Sanibils as one of Silicon Valley's largest backers in next-generation technology companies. From shared investments to shared ambition, anchored by major stakes in Lucid Motors, Savvy's $8.5 billion acquisitions of Scopely and Niantic, and Google Cloud AI centers. Our partnership is building opportunities that reach far beyond today. Looking to 2030, PIF's U.S. partnership grows even stronger, creating over 500,000 American jobs and building long-term prosperity across both nations. From vision to value, PIF is invested in better.
There are moments when opportunity comes knocking, and you have the chance to say yes. When things that previously seemed impossible are now within reach. As a dedicated financial partner, we help you accomplish your largest business goals and realize your most cherished personal dreams, bringing your possibilities a little closer. City National Bank. Say yes to possibility.
At the Adam Smith Center for Economic Freedom, you don't just learn, you achieve. Through our interdisciplinary Bachelor of Science in Business and Government Leadership, you'll gain perspective, innovate, and connect with real-world leaders.
It starts with me.
It starts with me.
It starts with me. It starts with you.
Leadership starts here.
America Business Forum proudly presents Stefano Domenicali, President and Chief Executive Officer of Formula One. Has fueled the fastest sport on earth for decades. As a former team principal of Ferrari and CEO of Lamborghini, now president and CEO of Formula One, he turns speed into strategy and passion into performance. A visionary of motion, a leader of acceleration. America Business Forum presents Stefano Domenicali. For the following interview, Brett Baer, official host of the America Business Forum, takes the stage.
Stefano.
Hi, Brett.
Great to see you. What a day. What a day. I want to ask you, first of all, did you ever think F1 would be this big or this popular?
Well, Brett, I have to say the truth. First of all, good afternoon. I know it's been a very intense morning with a lot of energy here around. I will try to give my bit. But
you have a little Tony Robbins in you?
Well, I have to say the truth. I mean, I was not expecting that we had such a growth in this incredible country. But that's why we are here. We just to try to grab every single occasion to make this business bigger than ever. And we know that in this lovely, incredible country, we have potential to keep growing.
You know, looking back at your early life, when did you first realize that racing would be your calling?
Well, I was born in a city where, you know, quite famous in Italy for racing track. And when I was at high school, I was always going to the track to help the organizer to be part of that. And, you know, it starts since the beginning. When you live the sport in the way that I lived since I was a kid, you will hope that one day you can. But, you know, if I look back, I would never thought that was possible for me. You know, I was doing school. At the end of university, I sent my CV to a lot of companies. One of them was Ferrari, as you can imagine. I was living very close to the place where this incredible brand is and is still there. And when they hired me in 1991, I started a journey that, you know, I was not thinking it was possible for an Italian, for me, coming from a normal family, able to do, you know, step by step what I did in my career. So, well, incredible from one side, but fascinating on the other side too.
Before becoming CEO of Formula One, you had really many lives along the way. Team manager, sporting director, team principal, Ferrari executive at Audi, CEO of Lamborghini. That's a lot. Which one of those chapters do you think shaped you most as a leader?
Well, I think that no matter is your career, I think that at least my approach to that is always listening, focusing on trying to improve every day, try to give you target on what can happen in your life. And of course, you cannot choose your boss, or you can if you can. But just to try to be surrounded by people gives you right motivation. I was lucky enough to be able to grow transversal in a great company, so I was able to capture different experiences. For me, the most important thing is try to see as a leader and try to replicate the fact that you want to do something unique for the people who are working for you. You need to be a role model. You need to make sure that you don't behave the way that you want that the others behaving with you. And try to be resilient on the fact that if you believe in something, you need to take any single opportunity that you may have. You may have failure, you may have defeat. In the world of sport is happening quite often, but never give up. Stay focused.
So motorsports is kind of unique in that it's a mix of passion and pressure. So what kind of values did you lift up to kind of keep you measured in the highs and lows? Because there's a lot of them in your sport.
Well, highs and lows is part of our life. And the more you grow, the more that you have to know that the pressure is part of your sphere, is emotional, is rational, is something that you are not built for that. Of course, you cannot believe that you can have certain responsibility. So you need to take that as a sort of positive boost to try, first of all, to control yourself and try to keep the right pressure on the people working for you in a way that there is the right tension, positive one, to motivate them to improve the way that they work with you, but always never crack under pressure. Otherwise, you're going to be a disaster. And the more you are on the high side, the more the air is less. So you need to make sure you breathe every single moment in the right way.
Yeah. So as you look at your journey, what was the moment that made you feel, this is what I need to be doing, this is what I'm meant to do?
You know what? I think life is full of moments. Every single moment has to put in the perspective of what's your life and what you're living. And I think that, for example, today, the opportunity that Mayor Francis gave it to me and to us is unique. And I need to breathe because, you know, thinking that I represent an incredible sport and a human being representing, you know, people behind me that has a trust in me, a great world behind that is another moment where, you know, I go back home. Tonight I have to go to Brazil for the race thinking, you know, mission accomplished today, looking forward to the next one tomorrow.
You've led some of the most competitive people in the world. I mean, a lot of very competitive people. So what have they taught you about how they handle pressure, how they handle failure, or even maybe what they taught you about ego?
Well, ego is an approach in our world that is quite common. But that's part of the game. You know, the more you are in the high peak of sport, the more egos has to be managed. And my job is to be like a sort of director behind the scene, try to manage everything. The ego is good if it's performing the right way. We need to have, you know, jewel. We need to have people that are the face of a sport. We need to create, or we need to have certain drama that is getting the right attention. But what you learn in a high-performance world is that the difference is here. It's the way that you approach the things. It's not on the basic things that when you are there, you need to give them for granted. It's really how to perform, how you're able, first of all, to give to yourself targets every day. I mean, I'm very basic on that. I try to be, as a reference, you know, how many decisions I take every day. How many decisions I've taken today. Because I'm in a position where I cannot sleep. I cannot sit in a sort of comfort zone. But that's, if you take it the right way, is the way to look and to motivate the people under you to be even more protagonists. And today, I use that word because we need people that feel to be protagonists on what they're doing. At all level, at all level. We are such an incredible business now that everyone counts, everyone making the difference. So that's what I'm trying to make sure that everyone understands this. This is a matter of being unique in everything that you're doing.
I always loved looking at the cars, but I was never really into the races until my two sons got into the Netflix show, Drive to Survive. And then we went to the F1 movie and with Brad Pitt. Fell in love with it. They were already in it. Formula One, you've seen massive growth over the past few years. You've turned this into like a global phenomenon, cultural. From that Netflix to Las Vegas to engineering and emotion. And I think we have a video to watch here.
For decades, Formula One was a world of
So as the sands of time run down to the end of this match.
Yeah, I think that is crucial. I mean, today, to be relevant and current for what you're proposing is crucial. We are now in a moment where being a global sport, worldwide sport, we have the privilege from one side to be cutting all the different community, from the, I would say with all respect, the pure fans to the high businessman that wants to be in the place to be that is Formula One today. And the only way to be relevant is to connect and speak the language of different communities. That's why, you know, we did all these projects that at the beginning have been perceived to be non-conventional. But that's the only way to get into new community, new sort of fans. That's why we did deals with Lego, with Disney, with the fact that we want to connect with the younger generation. We need to talk with their language. We need to talk with their way of talking and communicating. Otherwise, we'll be out. We were a world, a sport where very strong on linear TV. And if you move from there to the fact that every country has a different way to connecting on talking about us, wouldn't be so successful. So listening, watching, being humble and trying to be progressive in all the way that you can do it at all level. Of course, we keep the sport at the center. We are racing sport. Technology is very, very relevant. But if we are not able to convey the fact that today we are not competing against the other biggest sport, we are competing against other form of entertainment. That's a fact. That's why we need to be relevant once again in all the community that we are trying to connect.
So you've expanded to new markets, the US, the Middle East, Asia. How do you determine what makes the next great market? And how do you balance protecting the history, tradition of F1 at some of the long-time places?
Well, for sure, Brad, tradition or historical places has a great value, but only if there is a trajectory versus the future. If we go in a place that is only looking back at the history, I'm sorry, it's game over. You know, they are more lucky than the others because they have foundations that are stronger. But our duty today, where we have an incredible venues all around the world, we race in 24 places, as I said, around the world. We need to try to make sure that we find the right mix between the new places, street circuits, or other communities that can bring value to our sport. For example, here in Miami, it's a couple of years we are building phenomenal events, and I have to thank the promoter here, you know, and they are magic because they understand the philosophy of our sport and applying that to the philosophy of Miami, Florida, US. That's the key of our success.
How many of you went to the F1 here in Miami? Yeah. You have a lot of fans here. So
we have space to improve, you see.
I think so.
I have to take that. For the ones that take hands off, I hope next year you're going to have the chance to come with us.
So we're talking about, you know, expanding and then also protecting the soul. You know, you personally guard F1's kind of spirit as it becomes more global and commercial. But can it go too global, too commercial? Or do you think about that?
Well, you know, it's not too global, too commercial. It's the fact that if we want to survive in the ecosystem, we need to understand what is all around the world. And therefore, keeping the center racing, that is fundamental for us, we need to build around the dress that is good in order to be attractive. And today, if you are not having a proposition done from the sporting perspective, from the commercial perspective, from the marketing perspective, from the technological perspective, we're going to be not successful. And the world is running so fast that if you're not able to stay on top of the wave, we're going to fade down. That's why it's so crucial that we are a small organization in a way. We need to be listening to our promoters around the world, to our broadcasters around the world, to our fans around the world. So that's why we are shifting our way of living the sport from a B2B perspective to a B2C. We want to get in touch with our customer, with our fans. And that's the only way for us to keep being relevant for the future.
So next season, there's some new hybrid engines running on advanced sustainable fuel. Will fans be able to notice a difference, these changes?
Well, I think that the puristic fans, the super avid fans, they understand exactly what we're talking about. For us, it's relevant to be talking of something in terms of sustainability where it's relevant for the world. We didn't believe in the full electrification since the beginning, with all respect. We said that the hybrid represents the future of mobility with sustainable fuel. And if you think that today we are talking about a fleet of normal cars, more than 1.8 billion, just cars, you need to add commercial vehicle, trucks and so on, you know that it's impossible to fully electrify the world. So the only way to go and to keep the mobility at the right level of technologies to go to hybridization. We were the first in 2014 to be with the hybrid engine. We didn't sell that story very well, but now we want to make sure that everyone understands that sustainability is part of our project. That's why, you know, we take the commitment to be neutral, carbon neutral within 2030. That's why, together with the promoter, together with the logistics, because we are traveling around the world, we have seriously committed to this goal that is relevant for our society. And that's why, if I may, I do believe that our goal is to try to be as relevant as possible. And the only way to be relevant, for example, in this fantastic country, is to try to see if every morning, when you wake up, on top of your news, about the news on NBA, NFL, soccer, because now Gianni will be a big push on football in this country, we'll have news, we'll talk about Formula 1. That's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do because we are resilient. We're going to don't give up to the end.
So obviously CEOs like yourself, Ken Griffin, others, have lessons learned. What works, what doesn't. What advice would you give other sports leagues looking to expand globally?
Well, I think that if you want to expand globally, you need to understand the culture of the different countries. We cannot give it for granted that something that is successful in one place is the same on the other side. So what we need to do is to make sure that we do the right synthesis to have one product that is successful all around the world. That is not easy, but it's the beauty of our job.
That's pretty good. You know, Formula One pushes the boundaries of technology. It also pushes the boundaries of human courage. If you watch these guys going across the tracks all over the world, how do you see the spirit inspiring kind of broader change when it comes to something like sustainability, when it comes to something like, you know, plugging into your community, that sort of thing?
Well, I think the F1 is fascinating in my perspective, in my opinion, because it is something that is involving the human being at all levels, at the maximum level of competition. And we are young performing. If you think about what our drivers, they are fighting for tenths of a second. We're talking a difference between one or the other of a blink of an eye. So how you can perform as much as you can to make sure that you're faster than your colleague. And this is involving not only your skill, but also the skill of the engineering that is around you. We are talking about the precision that is in a millisecond difference. So it's fascinating. And the technology, you know, we are talking a lot about AI, has to be a service to that. We will never see Formula One where the human being is not the differentiating factor. That's the beauty of our sport. It's non-negotiable in a world where technology is part of our DNA for sure.
But AI is changing things, right? From the engineering, from how you operate.
Yeah, in our TV production, AI is helping us to give information quicker. You know, we want to give the radio messages in real time. We want to try to avoid the delays that are not good for the narrative of what we are doing. Therefore, it is there, but it's helping the people to understand better, helping the technology, as I said, to make sure that at the end of the day, the difference is in the hands and the head of our drivers.
Looking at the F1 movie with Brad Pitt, you know, it was a great movie, and it was exciting. And there was this question about what percentage of Formula One victors is the driver, and what percentage is the team and that car and making that car what it is?
Well, for sure, if you have a very bad team or a bad car, even if you are the best in the world, you cannot win unless you are very lucky. Therefore, everything has to be pushed to the limit. At the end of the day, in certain conditions, the driver is the one who is able to make the difference, for sure. But that's why we call our team sport, because without having a good team of mechanics, of engineers, of people that are working to make sure that you have a better car than the other, you know, the best team in the world cannot win. It's a team spirit work. It's, in any case, something that is relevant to the fact that, you know, the drivers are only 20 in the world. They are, in a way, doing an incredible job where the pressure is very high, when they have to make, in a blink of an eye, decision that a normal human being will not be able to take. And what is fascinating, and what I lived in these 30 years of my experience in Formula One, they are able to slow down every single frame at the highest speed ever in order to, every single frame that is passing through their mind, maximize the performance. This is something incredible, if you think.
So decades from now, as you deal with future fans, let's say, looking back at this era, what do you want them to feel about the journey of Formula One? What do you want your legacy in shaping this to be?
Well, I don't want to say it's ours. It's a part of all the stakeholders, the teams, our team, because it's such an incredible privilege to be leading this sport. But it's a teamwork. I think that for me, the relevant things to say is that we are shaping the sport that is adapting on the evolution of the world, keeping, you know, the DNA racing at the center, but not sleeping in the old good days, but always looking every day ahead.
What are you most looking forward to, most excited about this new season?
Well, first of all, we have still 4 races to go with a lot of action. The first 3 drivers are very, very close, so there will be a lot of incredible fight on the track. In Brazil, next Sunday, the weather shouldn't be so good, so it will be another element of uncertainty. And so, first of all, we're going to have another end of the season that will be hopefully fantastic from the sporting perspective. And next year, with the new regulation, there will be a reset. We have new teams coming in. We have US bringing up, you know, Cadillac, Ford coming in, Audi, Honda. So I go back to what I said before. The more we are able to bring elements of being progressive in our proposition, the more we're going to be successful in the future.
Stefano, thank you so much.
Thank you, Brett. Thanks to you all. Grazie. Un saluto a tutti. Ciao.
he turned the world's game into a global movement, uniting nations, players, and fans under one passion. The man who connected sports, leadership, and business. A leader whose game needs no introduction. America Business Forum presents Gianni Infantino. For the following interview, Carlos Diaz-Rosillo, founding director of the Adam Smith Center for Economic Freedom at Florida International University, takes the stage of America Business Forum.
Gianni Infantino, here we are. Thank you. Thank you, Miami.
Thank you.
Gianni, mi piacerebbe tantissimo fare questa intervista in italiano.
Benissimo.
Però nessuno capirebbe.
Va
Yeah,
bene.
facciamola in inglese.
Facciamola in inglese.
Facciamola.
Ok. We
Thank
speak
you.
English or Italian? Ah, you see?
Italiano, español.
Vamos a español.
Español también podemos. Gianni, you grew up in Switzerland, in the heart of Europe, in a part of the world where football is essential. When did you know that this was going to be the path for you?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. I don't know when I really knew that this is the path for me. But it's true that I grew up in Switzerland, the son of Italian immigrants, and football from the moment I was very small was a way. Football or soccer? Maybe we should actually clarify this.
Football, right?
Football. Shall we clarify it? Okay. So stay with me a second. Are there Americans here in the room?
A lot.
Yeah? Okay. So just stay with me 1 second, then I come back to your question. But so we, right, all of us, basically outside of this beautiful country, we call football a game that we play with our feet. That's why we call it football. Right? You, in this beautiful country, you call football a game you play with your hands. Now, I don't know who's right or who's wrong, but anyway, we can call it soccer or football. It doesn't really matter as long as we have fun and enjoy. And I come back to your question because I realized, certainly as a child, to play football or soccer was a way to be integrated in the society in a foreign country. As an immigrant, to come together, to unite, and to play football. And obviously, as an Italian, where football is a religion, you grow up as a fan of a club, as a fan of the national team. At that time, the Italian national team was quite strong. Today, a little bit less.
Not so much.
But we won the World Cup in 1982. As Italian, this was I was 12 years old, and this was a very, very strong moment where I fall in love, really, with the game.
Great. So I prepared a few questions. I hand wrote them, but I think I want to ask you a few of the questions, but I'm going to wing it and just go with the flow so that people get to know you. The world knows you, but I feel that in the United States, people don't know you as well as they should know you. So part of what I want to do is, over the next several minutes, have this wonderful audience and people watching remotely get to know Gianni Infantino. And so I'll mix some questions that I prepared, and then I'll wing part of them.
Here we are.
Today, you lead the world's most popular sport. When you think of the boy that you once were in Switzerland, what would surprise that boy most about the man that we have here before you?
Well, I think it's actually kind of impossible that a boy, son of Italian immigrants in Switzerland, could become FIFA president. This is something which is kind of unimaginable. But if you think about it, and if I think about it, I realized also pretty young that my skills as a football player were not really the ones of anyway close to the one who will speak after me here, Leo Messi. So I realized that if I ever want to touch the World Cup, I need to become FIFA president because I can never touch it as a player.
And you did.
Right? So I had to become FIFA president. But I was passionate about football from very young, and with a group of friends, we took over the local Italian team in the Swiss mountains, with actually a very important argument when we had the elections. We saw the President Trump earlier. We won the election to take over this Italian club with the killer argument, which was that my mother was ready to wash the jerseys of the team for free. So we won the election, we took over the team, and we organized matches, players, and so on. And finally, I do the same now. I organize events, I organize tournaments. Different magnitude, I find sponsors and broadcasters, but it's still the same passion and the same joy.
You mentioned President Trump, you mentioned Leo Messi, which reminds me, this is a really tough spot to be doing the interview. We followed President Trump, amazing speech, yes. And now, after this, is Leo Messi.
We are the halftime show,
there
right?
We go. There we go.
Between Trump and Messi. I mean, this is...
So not to put you on the spot...
You can clap.
So Leo Messi, as you know, is admired all over the world. Not to put you on the spot and ask you about somebody that you admire in football, but outside football, who is somebody that you admire, somebody who taught you an important lesson in life?
Well, for the lessons in life, I mean, definitely my father. My father, and my mother, my parents, who taught me, everything about having, of course, to work hard, to work in an honest way, to have dignity always in what we do, to respect the others, but also to always remember to be happy with what you have and in what you do. And finally, that's what football is about. It's about happiness and joy, isn't it?
And I mentioned Messi and also President Trump. It's very obvious from not only his remarks here today, but for many remarks he has made about you, that the two of you have a very good relationship. Part of the job of FIFA president is to get along with everybody, right? You are a manager, you manage the world's biggest soccer organization, football organization, but you also have to be a politician, a diplomat. Tell us a little bit about your relationship with President Trump.
I have a great relationship. I'm really lucky. I have a great relationship with President Trump, who I consider really a close friend. But of course, he's been and is very, very helpful in everything we do for the World Cup. He was the president. He mentioned it today when the US, together with Canada and Mexico, was awarded the World Cup. And he's really engaged. He has such an incredible energy, and this is something that I really admire. He does things. He does what he says. He says what he thinks. He says actually what many people think as well, but maybe don't dare to say, and that's why he's so successful.
Right.
And I have to say, I am a bit surprised sometimes when I read some comments, some negative comments, because as far as, I'm not American, but as far as I understand, President Trump was elected in the United States of America. He was quite clearly elected.
Very much so.
And when you are in such a great democracy as the United States of America, you should first of all respect the results of the election,
absolutely,
right? And then, again, he was elected based on a program, based on what he said, and he's just implementing what he said he would do. So I think we should all support what he's doing, because I think he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right? And for FIFA, even more.
And so, speaking of President Trump, he's not only the president of the United States, but now he's the head of the Kennedy Center. Yeah. In exactly a month, on December 5th, at the Kennedy Center in Washington, it will be the World Cup draw. And it's been announced today that on that occasion, you're going to award the FIFA Peace Prize. Football unites the world.
Yes.
Two questions about that. The first one is, tell us a little bit more about this new Peace Prize.
Well, we thought that our motto in FIFA is that football or soccer unites the world. It brings people together from the entire planet. I mean, the world stands still when the World Cup is played. We have had the last World Cup in Qatar, where we had 3.5 million spectators in the stadium, 5 billion viewers on TV. This will be even bigger here because we will have 7 million spectators in the stadiums, and we'll have 6 billion people watching it on TV. And millions will come to the United States, to Canada and to Mexico to stay together, to unite, to enjoy, to learn to know one another. So in 1 month we play 104 matches. This is like 104 Super Bowls in 1 month. This is the magnitude of what football is about. So we want to unite, and we want to contribute to unite. And when we see what is happening in our world today, which is a very divided world, I think, and we think in FIFA, that we need to find more occasions to bring people together, because only if people come together and they speak to each other, they can understand each other. So we think that all those who are involved in football, they actually do something like I was doing or my parents were doing when we were children, to unite, to bring people together, different communities, different people. And we believe that peace in the world is something which is so important, and we have to support it, because that's about unity and about peace, and we have to support anyone who is doing something special. So we thought we have to bring to life the FIFA Peace Prize. The first edition will be happening this year. We will award it on the 5th of December, in 1 month from now, in Washington, D.C., at the occasion of the draw for the World Cup, because we'll have the global audience, we'll have 1 billion people watching the draw. The draw is where we set the match schedule for the World Cup. And this is the right platform to award somebody who has done so much or is doing so much for peace, because we need that. Football helps a little bit, but then we need leaders who push it into the goal, right? And to score the goal.
And so I don't think you're going to answer this question, but I'm going to ask it anyway. Is the recipient of that first award somebody that we saw earlier today?
Maybe you, or... Well, on the 5th of December you will see.
We'll find out. Okay. A lot of people don't know that FIFA is a not-for-profit organization.
Yes.
That does a lot of good all over the world. Of course, FIFA is an organization that with all the proceeds it gets, gives back to communities the world over. Tell us a little bit about what FIFA does for communities around the world.
Well, I think that's an important, really an important point. I mean, people don't know that FIFA is a non-for-profit organization. All the revenues that we generate from a World Cup are reinvested in the game. As we speak now, we are organizing a women's under-17 World Cup in Morocco, and the boys under-17 World Cup in Qatar, with teams from all over the world. And all our revenues go into organizing these events, but go as well in development programs all over the world. FIFA has 211 countries which are part of FIFA, more than the United Nations. And our objective, our aim is, on one side, to make football truly global, but on the other side also to give every talent in every corner of the world the opportunity and the chance to dream. And if you can give to a child, if you can give him a ball like this, right? Look, already, look the smile, huh? Immediately, you have a ball, you smile.
Can I keep it?
Children, this is more than a ball, right? This is a magic object which transforms children or people in happy people or happy children. Because as soon as you have it, you smile, and if you can give to a child an opportunity, a chance, a hope, to become the next Messi, but also just to become a better man or woman, then I think we've done something great. And all our revenues go back into the game in 211 countries in the world in order to make sure that children, girls and boys, can do something. And we invest in women's football in Sudan or in North Korea or in Saudi Arabia, everywhere in the world, in Qatar, in men's, in boys. And this is exactly what makes football so special.
It's not only a beautiful ball, but I'm looking, it's an official ball, and it's signed by you. So
signed by me.
Very special ball.
Maybe if I can propose something.
Yes.
You should kick it into the audience at the end of the interview. And wait. And the one who gets it...
Gives it to me. No?
He will get 2 tickets for the World Cup match, here in Miami.
No, okay. Wow.
But you have to kick it far, huh?
Kick it far.
Or close. It's up to you.
Wow.
I don't take responsibility.
Okay, we'll do it. Look at that.
Look at that.
Look at this one here.
Okay, you need to wait another few minutes, huh? That's fantastic.
Right here. There we go. Golazo. You mentioned Qatar, and I believe I want to ask you about Qatar. I believe we have a video that we're going to show, and then I'll ask you a question about the subject of the video. So
Let's look at
the video.
Today I feel Qatari.
Qatar 2022, the most questioned World Cup in history, a tournament surrounded by doubt.
I have to say as well, I'm lucky enough that I'm in charge of a sport which is like the best sport in the world, but also which connects immediately people, right? You have immediately something to, thank you, something to speak about. You just go somewhere, you mention any name of, I don't know, Maradona or Pelé or Messi or Ronaldo, whatever, and then you immediately discuss, you immediately speak, you immediately engage, or you take a ball and you kick it, and immediately people smile and are happy. So I'm lucky, and I try to cherish this luck in the best possible way.
When you talked about the FIFA Peace Prize, you talked about not only world peace, but also unity. Is there a specific match or moment in a match where you felt that unity that FIFA brought particularly powerfully?
You know, there are, I don't know, there would be so many moments, and I always want to believe that the next one will be a special one. Like you mentioned, the World Cup in Qatar was a very strong moment. That final, you can ask Leo Messi later on. I mean, that final was something out of this world. I mean, we were lucky enough to witness this incredible final that Argentina won. I mean, it was so special. But you know, the great thing about football is that it brings you, and it writes new, beautiful stories every day. Last week, I attended a game that we organized for the first time between, we created the national team of girls and women from Afghanistan. Refugees, they had to leave the country. We helped them a few years ago when they had to leave the country. We helped them to leave the country. Some went to Australia, others went to England, others to Italy, to Portugal, some are here in the States. And after a few years, we decided to create a national team, and they called themselves a women's national team, and they call themselves Afghan Women United. Women from Afghanistan living now all over the world, coming together to play football and to play against other teams and to share a very, very strong emotional moment. But like this, you know, I could mention so many.
Let me ask you about a potential other moment. Football is a game of heartbreak as much as triumph. When did football break your heart? Has it broken your heart? Let me ask.
Well, yeah, no, of course. I mean, my beautiful wife is there, but my first love was football, so... she says it always to me. That's why I can say that. But it's true that football is such a special sport. I mean, when the World Cup is on, it's not just 104 Super Bowls in 1 month. It's like when Brazil plays, if you go to Brazil during a match of Brazil, everything is empty, right? Argentina is the same, Colombia is the same, right? Nobody's on the street, there are no crimes. The crime rate is low as ever during the World Cup because people are just so passionate. People, they cry when they win or they cry when they lose. It doesn't matter. You just cry because you are happy or because you're sad. You just cry in football. And I mean, for me, I remember 1978, the World Cup. I watched it on TV with my father. It was a World Cup in Argentina. 1982, of course, when Italy won a World Cup, and I was 12 years old. That was quite a strong moment. And when you get this virus of the game, and I really call on everyone here to be injected with the virus. There is no vaccine and nothing that you can take against that. But it's a beautiful one. It's a happy one.
Yes.
Thank you.
Football has brought joy to billions of people around the world, but it has also instilled a sense of responsibility on those who play it. Looking ahead, how do you want the game to influence the values and the mindset of the next generation? Of the next generation?
Well, you know, football has taught me so many lessons for life. And I think football is teaching to every child, every girl and every boy, so many lessons for their life. We have designed in FIFA, together with UNESCO and with UNICEF, a program that we call Football for Schools, in which we don't teach how to play football, but we use the hook of the ball in classrooms to say to children, okay, today we speak about football, and then we take the ball like this, we put it on the desk, right? And everyone listens. And you put the ball on the desk, and you can start speaking about anything, about violence, about discrimination, about racism, about respect, about nutrition, about any topic you want, just taking the hook or the excuse of football. So football teaches you so many lessons. And that's why we need to bring it all over the world, and we need to continue to develop it. The most important, I think, of these lessons that football is teaching, besides the team spirit and the joy and the happiness, is, I think, resilience. Because in football, you can win, you learn to win, but you lose as well. You learn to lose. I certainly lost many more games than I won. But the great thing that football teaches you is that when you win a game, right, you are happy. You go home, even if you play with friends, you go home, you are happy, you smile. You are happy until the next game. When you lose a game, you go home, you are sad, you are angry. But you are angry for an hour, a couple of hours, maybe one day. And then you know that there is the next game that is coming, and you're going to win that next game. So it teaches you, as a child, to stand up after a defeat and to go for it, and to want to fight and to win that next game, which is coming for sure. So these lessons, we need to cherish them, we need to bring them to the schools, and we need to develop the game and make it even bigger and better all over the world.
At the beginning of the conversation, you mentioned that when you were a boy, if you wanted to touch the World Cup, you thought that you had to become FIFA president, and you did. What do you want young people to know about the power of resilience and the power of believing in the idea that you can do anything you want to do if you put your mind to it?
Well, I mean, if you believe in something and you follow it with hard work, with passion, with your heart, then nothing is impossible. I mean, if a little boy who was born in a Swiss village in the middle of the Swiss Alps can become FIFA president and sit here in front of this incredible crowd in this beautiful city of Miami, then definitely everything is possible.
Absolutely. They won the ball. In just a few months, your presidency at the head of FIFA will turn 10. So you're going to be president for 10 years and counting. How has your tenure, in your opinion, changed FIFA?
Well, that's... what do you think? How has it changed FIFA?
Thumbs up?
Well, no, we worked very hard in the last 9 years to make FIFA truly global, to bring FIFA and football everywhere in the world. As I mentioned, when I was elected FIFA president, it was probably the darkest hour of FIFA. We brought back respect, and I think that's the most important element. We brought back respect to FIFA and for FIFA, and we continue and we will continue to just make people a little bit happier. And if people are a little bit happier, then, you know, the whole world is a little bit better, I think.
So a follow-up question. After you step down, how do you want people to remember your leadership style and your leadership at the helm of FIFA?
I will think about that when I step down. I will let you know.
In many years from now.
I come back and then I let you know. For now, I enjoy too much what I'm doing.
And you're good at it. So, most World Cups take place in one country. We've had some that have taken place in 2 countries. The next one will take place in 3 countries. In Mexico, in Canada, and right here in the United States. Of course, in Miami.
Yeah, including in Miami.
What can we expect?
And by the way, Francis Suarez, who was mentioned a few times, I don't know if he's around somewhere, but he has been really instrumental with the World Cup here in Miami. Need to say that.
So what can we expect about this new edition of the World Cup right here in North America?
Well, I really don't know if Americans realize what is going to happen. Mexicans, they get it probably a bit more because they know more about football. Canadians are even more Norse. So, but what will happen in this country is something incredible. I mean, let me say one more thing first, because after you're going to conclude, I guess, since we are in a business forum here, so there are business people here as well. I need to say one thing about business as well. Otherwise, they think I'm just, you know, kind of having fun as a president. But I need to. The business has to also work. So, the football GDP, global football GDP, is around $300 billion a year. Out of these 300 billion, 70% is generated in Europe, but mainly from outside of Europe. In the US, it's around 10 billion. If the US would be doing, and this is an advice to all business people in this room to invest in FIFA and in football, if the US would be doing one-third of what European countries do, we would speak about 110 billion, instead of 10, 110 billion GDP in the US.
Wow.
So, this to say that there is such a big potential, and I think that those Americans, why I say this, because I think that those Americans who didn't or don't realize what is happening next year, they will realize it, because this country and Canada and Mexico will be, you know, flipped upside down, back up, back down. You will have a horde of barbarians, but happy barbarians, invading the country, with the result that soccer or football will conquer America. This is a country that's never been conquered. For the first time, we will conquer America. I announce it here officially.
There we go. And that's a very good point, because it's not just the ticket sales. It's the incredible injection into the economies of every one of the cities that will be hosting games, like Miami, from tourism, from hotels, from restaurants, from ticket sales, from souvenirs. So it's an incredible engine of economic growth that FIFA will bring to these 3 countries.
Yes, it is an incredible economic impact of, only the World Cup has an economic impact of around 40 billion, 200,000 jobs, which will be created, 5-6 million people coming here to watch the games, but also, you know, to enjoy their holidays in Miami Beach or anywhere else in beautiful Florida. So it moves so much, and not just that, because the entire world will be focused on North America, on Canada, Mexico, and the United States next year. I was mentioning the figure of 6 billion people will be watching the World Cup. I mean, the Super Bowl is watched by 120 million people, 130 million. We have 6 billion people watching the World Cup. This means that the eyes of the world will be focused on Miami and the rest of North America.
Absolutely. I have a couple more questions, and the next one is about education.
I mean, he has to go. We can say he has to go on asking questions because I think we need to gain some time for.
So Leo Messi is on.
We are the warm-up act for Leo Messi to come. So get ready for Leo, huh?
So in American politics, we'll say we're filibustering. We're trying to extend this. No, this is a pleasure and an honor for me. Let me ask you about education. So I run a center at a university, Florida International University, which now is the 5th biggest university in the country.
Fifth
biggest. Wow. Let me ask you about the role of education. I believe that, sports and education go hand in hand. Tell us a little bit about, in your view, the role of education and how important it is to not only take care, of course, of your body, to have athletes that are good at what they do. You want your athletes to be the best in the world, but also the role of education.
Well, education is future. In FIFA a few years ago, we created a FIFA Foundation, and when you have a foundation, you receive a lot of requests, and every request is worth helping, right? But you cannot do everything, of course. So we were thinking, what should we focus? There are so many good causes around the world, and we decided that we should focus on education. Because education is future, education is hope, education is opportunity. And if our children are well educated, and part of the education is also, maybe it sounds stupid, but it's also football and participating in the World Cup and getting to know each other. So if our children are well educated, then they will find solutions to all the problems that affect our world. Not just we're speaking about peace or war, but any other problem. So we have to invest and believe very much in education. That's why we designed as well this program, Football for Schools, which is for children from 5 to 15 years of age. Again, not to learn how to play football, but to be educated a little bit with or thanks to the help of football. But we need to bring back the right values of our world. I mean, you were speaking earlier about the FIFA Peace Prize. I was surprised recently that I've been in Sharm el-Sheikh, where the peace in the Middle East agreement was signed, and I was surprised that about war, everyone speaks the whole time. You can read, you open any media in the world, there are journalists here, media representatives, you can read about war every day. About peace, one day, and that's it. It's not right.
That's right.
We need to support the peace process. We need to help, we need to push. It's not just for one person or one group of persons or one country to believe in it. Everyone has to play its own role, and we need to come back to these values. And for this, coming back to these values, the education, I think, is crucial.
Absolutely. Let me ask you one concluding question. You get to hang out with really interesting people. We mentioned President Trump, Leo Messi, really, really fascinating people. What gets you going? What excites you?
What? Exactly. My wife.
Good answer. She's right here in the front row. But besides FIFA, what keeps you going every day?
I don't know. I do the best job in the world. That helps, of course, you know, to keep going.
You really do have a very cool job.
No, I have the best job in the world, so you know, that helps. But as I was saying, I was kind of doing the same when I was a young boy or man, and I was dealing with the local football club in our village, trying to convince my mother to wash the jerseys. Now I have to try to convince some big sponsors to give us a few 100 million to be able to reinvest them in some countries in Asia or Africa or whatever. So, you know, I travel the world. I've been in 180 countries.
Wow.
Still a few more to go. And
very few.
I can say, yeah, no, but, you know, everywhere you go, every smile of every child you can see who kicks a ball like that ball that you have there is giving you the energy to just do more. It's simple as that.
That's great. Thank you. So I was hoping that you would make news by letting us know who would be the recipient of the FIFA Peace Prize. I didn't succeed in...
1 month to go.
Yeah, I didn't succeed in that. So I want to make news.
Okay.
At the Adam Smith Center for Economic Freedom that I run here at FIU, we have an annual event where we recognize the work of outstanding individuals. We give one to a foreign head of state, to an American statesman, statesperson, to an international business leader, an American business leader, an entertainer. Emilio Stefan was here, got it a year ago.
Emilio's here.
Emilio's here.
Where is Emilio? Emilio Stefan.
He's here somewhere.
Clap hands for Emilio Stefan. I mean, he's a true legend. Huh?
He got the Entertainment Award a year ago. And so, starting next year, I want to give an award to somebody who has made a difference in the world of sports. And we would be honored if you would be the first recipient of that award. It will be right here in Miami in May. So thank you.
Thank you. What an honor. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been wonderful. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your leadership, for your humility, and for allowing us to learn about you. So
thank you so much. Grazie mille.
Okay.
And now the ball, huh?
Wow.
Are you ready?
Okay.
Are you ready for the ball?
So this is exciting, but I'm afraid that if I kick somebody in the head, I'm going to get sued.
Do you have a good insurance? Come on, come on, come on. Come on.
All right. Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Which way?
Wait. Let's count. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hey! Whoa! That's the tallest guy. Thank you so much.
Tallest guy. Thank you, guys. Thank you. It's been a pleasure. Thank you, Gianni.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Investment inspires you to dig deeper and step up to the highest level. That's the PIF effect.
Bienvenidos a Uruguay, un país que sorprende. Acá hay paisajes que te hacen decir sorprende con mucho gusto. Con la calma.
For the following interview, Francis Suarez, Mayor of the City of Miami takes the stage of America Business Forum.
Bárbaro. Bárbaro. Gracias, Leo. Por favor. Messi, 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 Messi. Gracias, gracias Leo. Gracias por el honor de estar aquí. Es un honor enorme tenerte aquí en Miami, en el American Business Forum. Has inspirado, obviamente, a millones y millones de personas dentro y fuera de la cancha. Y hoy queremos hablar no solo de ti como futbolista histórico, que todos conocemos, sino también como el ser humano detrás de los logros, del líder, del padre, que sigue soñando y construyendo. Ahora, oye, déjame decirte, Leo, tuvimos a muchos invitados especiales hoy, pero nadie tuvo esta reacción. Increíble. Ni presidentes, te lo digo. Ahora, wow. Ahora, vamos a traerte al Leo de 13 años y que estaba al punto de subirte en la montaña rusa, y al Leo de 15 años que lloraba en silencio en Barcelona, lejos de su casa, luchando por su lugar. ¿Cómo te sentiste en ese momento cuando tú eras jovencito, tratando de encontrar tu piso en el mundo?
Bueno, primero, buenas tardes. Muchas gracias por el recibimiento, el cariño. Bueno, la verdad tuve dos ocasiones donde tuve que viajar solo a Barcelona, porque primero fui por 15 días, donde estuve conociendo el club, estuve entrenando y tuve 15 días con mi papá. Después volvimos y después regresamos toda la familia. Y la verdad que no fue fácil, más allá de que siempre estuve acompañado de mi familia. Era un cambio muy grande para mí porque era todo nuevo, no solo para mí, sino para mi papá, mi mamá, mis hermanos. Nosotros teníamos la vida en Rosario, con amigos, el colegio. Era como empezar de cero, ¿no? Y la verdad que fue duro porque se extrañaba mucho. Nosotros somos muy apegados a nuestras raíces, nuestra gente, nuestra familia. Y bueno, fue difícil porque en el medio hubo situaciones duras, pero nunca dudé, nunca di un paso atrás. Tenía clarísimo lo que yo quería, iba en búsqueda de mi sueño y bueno, seguimos adelante como familia y yo al mismo tiempo en lo individual continuamos en búsqueda de eso.
Por supuesto, llegaste a ser campeón. Y pregunta para ti, los campeones, pregunta sencilla, ¿los campeones se hacen o se nacen?
No, bueno, yo siempre dije que Dios me regaló un don, que me eligió a mí, y yo desde muy chiquito fui así, lo tuve, pero después en el camino hice mucho sacrificio, mucho esfuerzo para fortalecer todo ese don que tenía, porque hay mucha gente que tiene muchas condiciones, siempre hablando de fútbol, ¿no? De muchas condiciones, gente muy buena en toda parte del mundo, pero para ser profesional hay que hacer un sacrificio muy grande y yo siempre lo tuve como meta, hice todo lo posible para poder conseguirlo, pero como dije al principio, soy un agradecido a Dios por porque él me dio lo principal.
Por supuesto, tuviste que transicionar entre clubes. Una vez, obviamente, en París y otra en Miami. ¿Cómo fue el proceso de reinventarte y transicionar de uno al otro?
Bueno, la verdad que la primera salida de Barcelona, por decirlo de alguna manera, a París fue dura porque nosotros vivimos toda la vida en Barcelona, estábamos muy bien, la familia, los nenes, teníamos todo, crecimos todos. Yo, imagínate que me fui con 13 años, hice toda mi vida. Mi mujer llegó cuando tenía 20, 21 años por primera vez a la ciudad. Y bueno, nunca son fáciles los cambios y tener que adaptarnos. Pero la verdad que nos adaptamos bien a la ciudad, los nenes también en su día a día, igual que mi mujer. Pero bueno, como dije varias veces, yo a nivel futbolístico y de día a día no la pasaba bien, no me divertía por un montón de cosas, por esto mismo también, que era todo nuevo para mí, muy diferente a lo que estaba acostumbrado. Pero bueno, más allá de eso nos quedamos con muchas cosas positivas que vivimos en familia y que nos ayudaron para seguir creciendo y para la vida en general.
Y después a Miami, por supuesto. ¿Viniste aquí?
La verdad que ese cambio fue diferente porque fue una decisión en familia, la cual decidimos seguir mi carrera, seguir mi carrera profesional en Miami y creo que eso significa mucho, ¿no? Elegir donde uno quiere estar y poder hacerlo hace que las cosas sean mucho más fácil. Y después de que llegué acá a Miami fue espectacular. Primero el vivir en esta ciudad increíble y después el cariño de toda la gente desde el primer día. Del primer día fue impresionante y bueno, hoy es una muestra más, el recibimiento y con toda esta gente, así que muy agradecido.
Bueno, hablemos de Argentina, pero antes pasamos a la pantalla.
In 2016, the unthinkable happened. A missed penalty.
Quedó demostrado cómo lo festejó el país, la necesidad y la gana que teníamos de que suceda, que vuelva a suceder después de tanto tiempo que había pasado. Y para mí fue especial, primero porque como para un jugador ganar el Mundial creo que es lo máximo, ¿no? Es como cualquiera en su trabajo, en cualquier profesional, poder llegar a lo máximo. No hay más, después del Mundial no se puede pedir más nada. Y encima yo había tenido la suerte de haber conseguido todo antes, a nivel de club, a nivel individual. Habíamos conseguido también con la selección Copa América, era la que faltaba también, ¿no? Entonces era como cerrar toda mi carrera con ese trofeo.
Y vemos los momentos de victoria y los momentos de oscuridad, de fracaso. ¿Cómo tú lidias con esos momentos?
Bueno, la verdad que siempre intenté de sacar cosas positivas de todas esas derrotas. Primero entender que que puede pasar, que es un deporte y a veces se gana y se pierde. A nadie nos gusta perder, pero es el deporte, es así, pasa en todos lados. Y después con lo de siempre, ¿no? Con mi familia, con mi gente. En los peores momentos es cuando la gente que te quiere de verdad realmente está al lado tuyo. Y así fue toda mi carrera, rodeado de mi familia, de mi gente cercana, y creo que en los fracasos esos son las personas fundamentales.
Muchos mortales sueñan con ser campeones del mundo, pero ese lugar en el cielo está reservado para muy pocos. Tú que lo viviste, ¿cómo se siente?
Bueno, un poco lo que te decía antes, es difícil de explicar cómo se siente uno. La sensación por ahí, la que me pasó a mí, salvando la distancia obviamente y no comparando porque no tiene nada que ver, pero cuando gané la Copa del Mundo a nivel profesional fue, ya digo, no comparo, pero salvando la distancia tuve la misma sensación. Tuve la misma sensación que cuando nacieron mis hijos, una sensación de que una sensación que bueno, el que tuvo la suerte de vivirlo sabe lo que significa y que es difícil de explicar qué se siente en ese momento. Es tan especial y tan grande que todo lo que seguía queda corto y bueno, me pasó un poco eso.
¿Y te cambió la vida? ¿La vida sigue igual? ¿Cómo cambiaron las cosas después de eso?
No, cambiar la vida no, porque siempre viví de la misma manera y después de eso continué con queriendo seguir ganar, queriendo seguir cosas y en el día a día normal, como lo hacía antes de ser campeón del mundo, pero...
Todavía vas al supermercado.
Pero sí que es verdad que la tranquilidad de haberlo conseguido todo a nivel profesional y en lo deportivo sí que me cambió mucho.
En los últimos tiempos vemos a un Leo Messi que va más allá de la cancha. Casi ya como empresario, hay varios proyectos como Tu Debía Más Plus, by Messi, tus hoteles Min. Entraste hace poco como socio en la cadena de restaurantes del Club de la Milanesa, que por supuesto hay uno aquí mismo en la ciudad de Miami. ¿Qué mundos te interesan más allá del fútbol?
Bueno, la verdad que no... tuve una carrera deportiva muy larga, sigo teniendo, y siempre tuve gente alrededor mío de confianza y la cual se ocupaba un poco de todo eso. Pero también es verdad que en el último tiempo me llegó a interesarme mucho más por todo lo que se hacía, lo que se puede hacer. También el fútbol tiene una fecha de caducidad, lamentablemente, y en algún
lamentablemente. No, ¿verdad? No.
En algún momento...
Nunca.
En algún momento se termina y me gusta empezar a ver qué se puede llegar a hacer, para dónde puedo llegar a arrancar, pero el tema empresarial es algo que me interesa, que me gusta, que me gustaría aprender, seguir aprendiendo mucho, porque la verdad que no sé nada. Estoy arrancando en esto como
empresario. Te parece que puedes jugar por siempre, pero... Parece que puedes jugar por siempre.
No, bueno, pero es lo que te decía, ¿no? Siempre dediqué el 100% del tiempo a mi profesión, a mi familia, y es lo que me dediqué, ¿no? Pero sé que se viene otra cosa, otro mundo, y de a poquito me voy metiendo.
Ahora tienes también que estás trayendo un torneo a Miami de los niños de sub-16 que va a traer a algunos de los mejores clubes del mundo: el Barcelona, el Manchester City, el River Plate, el Inter de Milán. ¿Tenemos River Plate aquí? ¿Ok? River Plate. El Chelsea, además de nuestro querido, por supuesto, Inter Miami. Ese torneo se llamará la Messi Cup. Hablamos un poco de ese proyecto.
Bueno, es algo que decidimos hacer con el club y darle la oportunidad también a los chicos de nuestro club que tengan la posibilidad de enfrentarse a chicos de